2018, I started Steno, which is a court reporting company or court reporting agency that is very similar to some of the other court reporting agencies that you all probably know of, like Veritex and US Legal and others. Except what is different about Steno, among other things, is that we invest heavily in technology and innovation. So unlike our competitors, we have a tech and product team that is about 15 to 20 people that's constantly thinking about ways to improve the litigation process for the folks that choose to work with us. So today, I'm super excited to share with you the evolution of court reporting and reviewing transcripts. And so as a baseline, I know everybody in here is familiar with the litigation process, some maybe more than others. But because we're talking about court reporting and depositions, I realize that not everybody is a litigator, so I'll give just a little bit of background as to what is a deposition and why is it important. In the litigation process, one of the ways that lawyers get the evidence that they need in order to prove or disprove their case is by taking a deposition. A deposition essentially is an opportunity to ask questions of anybody who has relevant knowledge about the lawsuit. And the person answering those questions needs to answer them under penalty of perjury. So they get sworn in by a court reporter sits there in the room and transcribes all of the questions and answers that are said during the course of the deposition. The end result of a deposition is a written transcript, and that written transcript can be used as evidence in the case. So historically, when I first started practicing law, and for a long time, the way this works is you would finish the deposition and you would get a written copy of a transcript. And average transcript is anywhere between 100 and a couple hundred pages. And you would receive it and drop it into a file cabinet somewhere and probably never look at it again. Because that's what happens to most deposition transcripts. But when you do need to use a deposition transcript, so a couple of examples of when you might need to use it. So let's say you're involved in litigation and your opponent files a motion. A common motion that you may see is like a motion for summary judgment, which just basically is one side asking the court to throw out the other side's case because there are no factual disputes, and one side says that the other side can't win the case. So when that motion is filed, the way that you oppose that motion is that you go gather up all the evidence that you have in the case, and you essentially tell the court, nuh-uh, there are factual issues, and here they are. But in order to gather that evidence and find what you need to go sift through all the deposition transcripts that you have. And in a not too complex case, you may have, let's say, 10 depositions. In complex cases, you may have dozens of depositions or more. And so the process of sifting through those deposition transcripts is tedious, it's laborious, it takes a lot of time, a lot of manual work. As an associate, I would basically pull all the transcripts out of the file cabinet, put them all on my desk, start highlighting them, start putting the post-it notes and doing what I can to figure out where the evidence is that we need to defeat the motion. So then about, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, deposition transcripts started to become digital, and you would have digital versions of the transcripts. And that was a little bit better because instead of, like searching through all the physical copies of the transcript, you can do like a Control F through Adobe and look for key terms that may be relevant to what you need. And so that sped up the process a little bit more. But today, what I'm excited to share with you is something, the newest evolution of how to review deposition transcripts, which we call Transcript Genius. I'm going to show you how this works, but in order to understand and give a little bit of context, what you're going to see is a case that I litigated, and I took it to trial about 5 years ago, so it's all public information. Basically, we represented a woman named Cheryl Phillips. Cheryl Phillips was an older woman who was staying at a nursing home called Avant Garde. While she was there, she was neglected and ultimately suffered a fall and had some pretty serious injuries and led to some dire results. But without getting into the details, with that background, you should be able to follow along what you're seeing here. So Transcript Genius essentially has 3 functions. Number one, it allows lawyers to quickly identify which transcripts have the most relevant information for what they're looking for. Number two, it allows you to create whatever type of deposition summaries you want. So if you want a short and sweet deposition summary, you can do that. If you want a detailed deposition summary, you can do that. But most importantly, it allows you to interrogate your transcripts and find exactly what it is that you're looking for. Let me show you how this works. So what you're looking at is what we refer to as the attorney dashboard at your firm. So let me just pause this and give some more context here. When you do a deposition with Steno, you are given access to what we call an attorney dashboard. Your attorney dashboard houses all of your transcripts and all of your audio files and all of your video files and everything else on the web. And so you can access all of it at any time, whatever you want. So what we're looking at is an attorney dashboard for a firm, and Transcript Genius allows you to quickly find the transcripts that you're looking for by putting in what we refer to as a semantic search, which is essentially a keyword search. But before you do that, you can filter down on any of these things that you see here, which are, if you're looking for a particular witness, you can filter it by that. If you want to limit the results to a particular case, obviously you could do that, or by the attorney who ordered the transcript. The witness is, filtering by the witness is actually a pretty interesting use case because in litigation, there are expert witnesses that testify over and over and over again on similar topics, and law firms oftentimes will have a collection of deposition transcripts taken against a particular witness that they are going to want to search against before they take their next deposition to find any inconsistencies or anything else. So the first step is filtering and identifying which case you want. Here we're filtering down to the Phillips case, and now we're going to look for transcripts related to care coordinator, because I realize that the motion that I'm working on requires me to get testimony from the care coordinator. So I didn't remember who that person was, but I just typed care coordinator into the search box, and it pulled up the most relevant transcript here, which is the transcript of Amina Kamoon. So once we identify the transcript that we want, the next step is to interrogate that transcript. So you click this Add to Interrogate button, and what you'll see here are a series of canned prompts that we have generated that we think might be the most useful to litigators who want to interrogate their transcripts. These, as you can see, these canned prompts ask Transcript Genius to generate a brief summary or a full-length summary of the transcript, or you can ask questions like, did this witness ever contradict themselves in the course of this deposition? I was shocked the first time I saw that and actually saw what Transcript Genius can do in terms of identifying inconsistencies. So you can select one of these pre-canned prompts, or you can type your own. We'll see in this example, we'll start with a full-length transcript summary and see how this gets generated by Transcript Genius. So one thing that you'll see as this starts to go here, as the prompt is clicked, is that like the previous presenter was saying, we want to capture both efficiency and quality. And so for us, making sure that you can trust the results of Transcript Genius requires us to put a citation next to every piece of information that is generated by Transcript Genius. So as you see this summary being generated here, you'll see next to it there are hyperlinked citations. And if you click in any of those hyperlinked citations, it will take you to the appropriate part of the transcript with the question and answer where that information is coming from. So very quickly, you can generate your summaries. You can check to make sure all the information is accurate. And then at the end of the summary, we provide a list of citations so that you have essentially a reference list or a bibliography or whatever you want to call it that allows you to very quickly go find wherever you want. There's also a copy and paste feature that will allow you to copy and paste all of this information into whatever, Microsoft Word or anything else you want to do. So that's how to create a summary. Next, as a plaintiff lawyer, the case involved a claim of elder abuse or neglect. And so I wanted to find all of the evidence of elder abuse or neglect in this transcript. And so you just ask Transcript Genius and you prompt it and say, I'm a plaintiff lawyer. What evidence is there of elder abuse or neglect in this transcript? And you'll see it very clearly tells you that here's evidence of inadequate hygiene and toiletry supplies and lack of proper toiletry care. These are things that Transcript Genius understands what is elder abuse and neglect. It understands the nature of the claim without me having to describe it, and it's able to extract the testimony from the transcript and pair it with the elements of the claim that I might be trying to prove. Again, there's citations for everything, so you can check the veracity of what's being generated. Interestingly, you can prompt it the other way. You can say, I'm a defense lawyer. What evidence is there to negate elder abuse or neglect in this transcript? And it'll generate that as well. So you see, when you ask Transcript Genius to identify evidence that negates the claim, it says that there were investigations and follow-up done, and there were unannounced checks and things like that tended to demonstrate that there was no elder abuse or neglect. And what's the most cool about this is, as a litigator that's working on this case, I could then ask Transcript Genius to say, what additional evidence should I be looking to gather to support my claim of elder abuse or neglect in this case? And Transcript Genius is able to understand the prompt. It's able to, it has the context of the transcripts and the previous prompts already in it. And so now it's telling me to further support my claim of elder abuse or neglect. Here are the things that I should do, the type of evidence I should be looking for: surveillance cameras or surveillance video, testimony from other witnesses, etc. So from a litigator's perspective, it's almost like a cheat sheet of the things that you should be thinking about and doing. So this is how Transcript Genius really it makes it so that a litigator can identify and surface information much faster than you'd be able to do on your own. And that's cool with respect to one transcript. But really the magic happens when you can search across multiple transcripts and ask Transcript Genius to do things like, tell me all the evidence that we have in this case on an issue like elder abuse and neglect, or tell me if any of the witnesses testified inconsistently on an issue that may be important in the case. And that is the next phase of Transcript Genius, which we just released yesterday, I believe, which allows you to identify transcripts. So you're back to the main stage, or the main page. You can find the relevant transcripts, and you can add multiple transcripts to the interrogation. So what you're seeing here is the search. You're going to click to add to interrogate. And now you're going to click interrogate transcripts, and you will see here that now you're searching across 2 transcripts, and you can ask, did these witnesses testify inconsistently on an issue of training, which is a big issue in elder abuse cases. And so Transcript Genius is interpreting both transcripts and is able to identify the inconsistent testimony across each of them. This is, again, from an efficiency perspective, something that would take an attorney hours, if not days, to be able to do themselves, to be able to read one transcript, read another transcript, and then contrast the two to see if there are any inconsistencies. So with that, that's Transcript Genius. We are just outside and welcome all of you to come and ask us any questions or experience it for yourself. Thank you very much.